to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, hello, friends, and happy Tuesday to you. Welcome back from the Labor Day weekend. What a treat to be here with you. And you're joining us on a replay. Hello, hello. Wonderful for you to tune in. And a big special welcome to our friends also at Modern Mom. Great to have you with us. As you know, I'm Winnie Sun, your host, Forbes contributor, CNBC council member, and award-winning financial pro, here to keep you on top of, relevant, trending, business, all that fun stuff. And most importantly, you're part of today's discussion. I'd love to hear from you. So let's start it off. Let me know, first off, where you're joining us from, maybe like what you did this weekend. Because let me tell you, I love 3-day weekends. Should we say I love 3-day weekends or do I love 4-day work weeks? I'm not even sure, but I think it doesn't matter. I think you know what I mean, right? Let's start with the market, let you know how it closed. Now, fortunately, this was not the type of week or day we would like to start with, but it is what it is. The Dow closed down 269 points. The NASDAQ closed up 10, though. Go NASDAQ. And the S&P down 15 points. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average did fall quite a bit today. And that's because, as you can probably guess, lingering concerns. More people are continuing to be concerned about the coronavirus, the Delta variant. And now, what is it? The new one coming out. It's called Mu. Tell me how you pronounce it. I think it's a Mu variant. That's now, actually, we're seeing a lot of cases popping up all across the United States and many, many states. In fact, I hear here in California, I guess we have seen the most cases of this new variant. So a little concerning, certainly a lot concerning. Now, on some positive news, I'm not sure what you did this weekend, but I know what a lot of Americans did this weekend. In fact, in the number of over 2 million Americans watched, the one and only, the new Marvel movie, Marvel's ShangChi, I believe, and over 2 million people jumped and went to AMC's US-based cinemas between September 2nd and September 5th, making it the highest number of admissions for Labor Day weekend in the company's history. Now, we're not just talking about during the pandemic, my friends. We're talking like literally in AMC history, the most amount of people went to see this movie during Labor Day weekend. Now, you could probably say, well, maybe because people weren't so much traveling, maybe they're staying home, but maybe we could just say that this movie was incredible. In fact, I haven't seen this movie yet. I'm very excited. I'm going to look forward to it jumping on Disney Plus. But this new Disney movie topped $90 million in sales at the box office domestically here in the U.S. over the 4-day Labor Day weekend. So congratulations to our friends who are part of this very special production. In fact, I know my team is pretty excited. We can't wait to get a chance to see this movie. But if you did see this movie, let me know. Hello. I want to say a quick hello to my friends. CrossX Fighter on YouTube Live. It's great to see you. Robin Stevens, Twitter Live. Hello. Happy Tuesday. It does certainly feel like a Monday to me too. And Joshua hasn't seen it yet, but you know what? It sounds like, that something to keep in mind. I've actually heard my creative director, Curtis, told me that he's heard that this was truly one amazing martial arts movie. So I'm kind of excited because those are the types of movies that really got me excited when I was a kid. I actually had this dream that perhaps I would be able to do some of these moves, but it just didn't pan out because I'm not that coordinated. My sister, on the other hand, she's like a Taekwondo powerhouse. I'm guessing she could do some of this stuff, but pretty cool stuff. I'm thinking my kids are really going to enjoy this. Adrian, it's great to see you. Facebook Live. Hello. Welcome to the show. Now, today is a really special day, and I'm going to tell you why, because I have with me two powerhouse friends. It's not every day that you can learn from the best of the best, but today I feel like that's absolutely the case. Now, two individuals I'm going to introduce to you. We actually had a chance to showcase them on our tweet chat not long ago. I think it was in end of July. And I said, you have to come on the show. We got to learn from you because this is good stuff. Now, I'm going to bring on first off the one and only Jessika Phillips. Jessika is someone, I'm a big fan of Jessika. I'm going to put it out there. Hello, Jessika. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing so well, and I'm a big fan of yours. And now you got me all excited about this Marvel movie. I had no idea this was out, but it's on my list now.
It's going to be awesome, Jessica. It's going to be so awesome. And by the way, I got to say, I'm seeing Mark Osterman, my buddy, one of my best friends on Facebook Live. Hello, buddy. Did you see the movie? And if you did see the movie, say hi to Jessica. Let me tell you, Mark, she's my buddy. I'm sure you're going to love her too. Let me see. Those of you who are unfamiliar with Jessica, yeah, probably aren't on social media because she is a total social media powerhouse. She's a social media strategist known for her outspoken dedication to relationship marketing. And her personal mission is to inspire people to love more, to give more, and to be more through authentic relationships every day. And let me tell you, she is such a sweetheart. In fact, after she and I met just very briefly, she sent me cookies. You gotta love people. Your friends know that you like cookies. Like, Jessica, how do you know this? I just feel like you know everything.
Oh, you can't go wrong with cookies, right? Or just some kind of sweets that you just send someone and they get to pick out their own flavors. That's what's good about it, right? When you go shopping nostalgically and get to pick out your own favorite candy or cookies, you can't go wrong.
It can't go wrong. Well, your company is now a Forbes recognized agency partner and you're a certified inbound partner with the one and only HubSpot too. And you have over 100 clients across the US. I'm sure that number's a lot bigger now. And choosing to serve and not sell. So, we're going to learn a lot from Jessika. So, Jessika, hold on with us because we're also going to bring up the one and only Jen Cole. Jen, how are you?
I am so excited to be here, man. We're gonna just spread all the good vibes today. I'm so excited. This is so awesome.
Well, I'm loving that you said this because you set the bar really high. Absolutely. We are going to be sharing the good vibes today. Jen Cole is the owner of Xstand Standing Desks, an account manager at Now Marketing Group. Oh, we may have heard of that amazing company, as you know, when Jessika Phillips is here with us, and a podcaster on the Making a Marketer podcast. Jen has a huge passion for building community around brands on and offline. So I love this. Let's talk about relationship marketing. And before we do that, let's also say hello. We want to see hello to Frandy on YouTube Live. We want to see Sadiq. Hello on LinkedIn Live. CrossX Fighter, Mark Suter on Facebook Live from Ohio. Nice to meet you all. Now remember, you're part of this conversation. We want to hear from you. Don't be shy. It's a lot easier to not be shy on social. Tell us where you're joining us from, and also, jump in, tell us your thoughts on relationship marketing. Let me tell you, these two powerhouses, when we did this tweet chat and we actually did Twitter Spaces after that, they gave me so much to think about. I literally had 2 pages of notes after our session. And let me tell you, that was on top of hosting the tweet chat. So that was a lot of typing. But relationship marketing, you may have heard, is defined as a strategy designed to foster customer loyalty, interaction, and long-term engagement. Now, it's designed to develop strong connections with customers by providing them with information directly suited to their needs and interests and promoting open communication. Notice that there's a lot of talk there about connections, about interaction, then learn the word loyalty, long-term engagement. I love how they use the word long-term engagement. As a financial person, we use the word long-term a lot because it is really about the more you know each other, the more you care about each other, the more you're invested in each other's success, there's something special that happens. And promoting open communication. I love these keywords that are being used in this area. So let's start with some trivia. I see a lot of you joining us today. Hello from Florida, Franny. Welcome. Let's start with this. And everybody, you're all going to participate here because this is what we do. First question is, what is the most loved and relevant brand in the United States? Now, of course, I'm thinking many of you love many of these brands. I do. There's Tesla, there's Google, there's Amazon, there's Apple, and there's Costco. Which of these is which one do you think is the most loved and relevant brand in the United States? I'm going to say I love Costco a lot, but tell me your thoughts of which of these you think is the most loved brand here in the United States. Don't be shy. There's really no way to answer this wrong because we're just learning together. We see CrossX Fighter from YouTube. He's saying Google. B. Okay. Adrian's in communication is so important. Promoting, publishing. Thank you, Adrian, for being here. Yeah, really agree with you on that for sure. All right, Mark. The marks. I see multiple marks today. What do you guys think? Tessa, Google, Robin, what do you think? Which one do you think is the most loved and relevant brand in the United States? Frandy is saying Google as well. I see a lot of Googles coming in. Okay. I love Costco. I gotta say, I love Costco. I know it's probably not the first, not the most, but I love the way they take care of their employees. They have the happiest employees. But anyhow, let's start with you, Jen. Jen, what do you think the answer to this question is?
Oh, this is so hard because a lot of them we use literally on the daily or weekly. I guess it's gonna, in my opinion, it may be Apple because
Apple
is a very avid Apple user. Apple.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I got Apple all over the place here myself. So, Jessica, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna take this in.
I'm gonna look at what one do people actually have tattooed on them, or take the sticker and put it on the back of their car, and like just can use multiple products by the brand. So I would say Google is a great one, but it's either Google or Apple. But I'm going to go with Apple just because I'm a Apple fangirl myself.
Okay, so I'm loving this. I am a total Apple fangirl as well. And by the way, today it was just announced that the new press release or the announcement for the new Apple products is going to be September 14th. So, in fact, you are both correct. Of course, no surprise there. In fact, it is Apple. Apple is the most loved and relevant brand in the United States. Now, notice that we didn't say most profitable or sold the most items. We said the most loved and relevant brand in the United States. So really interesting. It was actually Apple. Now, some surprises for some of you, I'm guessing. But let's go to our second question. And that is, what was the most profitable company then in the world in 2020? Do you think it's Microsoft, Walmart, Amazon, Apple, or Google? So yeah, I see more answers coming in. I can see a lot more Googles again. I see some Apples now. All right. So let's start with Jess. Jess, what do you think?
I would have to say Amazon. Either Amazon or Walmart, but I would probably say Amazon with 2020 and shopping going online for the most of it. I think people were, with convenience, Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Amazon. Jess says Amazon. CrossX Fighters on YouTube Live is also saying Amazon. So we see Frandy saying Apple. Okay, so Jen, what are your thoughts on this?
I think great minds think alike. I looking back at everything that Amazon has been doing, developing, and expanding in the last year, I'm gonna have to agree with Jessica and say Amazon.
Now, Amazon did have record sales this year. I mean, no surprise there, especially with the pandemic. But believe it or not, the most profitable company in the world, my friends, in 2020 was once again Apple. So Apple for the double win. Yep, that's true. Well, let's jump into this because this is really interesting. I mean, it can use from just our two questions, you could actually say, well, if that's the case, maybe because they're so well loved, they also that translates into tremendous profitability. Well, on our tweet chat not long ago, Jen Cole actually said the way we feel about the company that we work for truly rolls into the energy that we exude professionally and personally too. When you empower and support your staff, they want to be the best you can be the best that they can be for you. And that shows in their client relationships. Now, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, how you feel, right? That relationship that you have with your employees, your clients, it all trickles to the same effect. There's one thing that I've told my team many, many times. I've said people over profits. We got to put our emphasis on people, how they feel, how their relationships. Sometimes, and I've done this in the past too, sometimes it's worth it to lose money. Believe it or not, I know as a financial person, I can sometimes it's worth it to lose money or not make money for that better relationship and better reputation, because people will remember how you make them feel more so than that financial transaction. So I want to talk about this. What is relationship marketing and how does it work? Jessica, I feel like this is like definitely something that and you've embraced for years. This is why people come to you. So when you think of that, how would you, I mean, we kind of gave the dictionary definition earlier, but how would you explain it to someone who says, okay, I get it, it's important, but but is it really profitable? Like, is it go beyond, like, how do I quantify this to my boss or my shareholders or my employees that in fact this is that important?
Yeah. So great question. And many people ask this. And I think it is a little bit more than what the definition said, because the definition is all about repeat referral business. Well, that is the case. It's really simplified as it's creating a sense of belonging, not just buying, right? So that's what that belonging is, what creates that loyalty. And that's why it's not surprising that Apple is one of the most embraced, because with creating that sense of belonging, relationship marketing is really starting from like the inside out of identifying who you are as a brand and developing this personality behind it. And by developing this personality, then you attract people that are like you and that want to be a part of the sense of belonging, because it's like, that's my people, right? Those are the people that I want to hang around with and I want to be loyal to and I want to show up for, because it's a little bit more than just buying a product. That's why I said, people tattoo Apple onto them, or they put the Apple sticker on the back of their car, and Apple embraced this really early on, and they created what's called like this brand manifesto that's so powerful that they don't even like share it out. So when you talk about quantifying, like, how do you quantify this to your boss? Well, one, the stats that just talked about Apple here, but when you look at what Apple's been able to do that many brands can't, is they've been able to pivot from just being a computer company to then a phone company and then a watch. And now they're doing apps and so much more. And it just seems so seamless that their community, the tribe that they've built, will follow them anywhere, because they've developed the personality in its core. Like when they first got started, they created what's called like this brand manifesto. And it's like, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones that see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, or glorify them. But the one thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see, them as crazy, we see their genius, because the people that are crazy enough to change the world are the ones who do. And like, that's so powerful that, one, it's weird that I have it memorized, but two, that it speaks volumes of like, that was their core when they said this is who Apple is. And you can notice that it doesn't mention anything about technology in it. It's like, here's who we're creating this for. Here's the community that we're creating this sense of belonging for. And this is who we want to be part of our community. And while they're not broadcasting that everywhere, everything that they exude and put out matches that tone and attracts those people. They're different, right? They're round pegs in the square holes. And so I think that's why they've built this sense of loyalty. And when you create and focus in that way, relationship marketing, like I said, starting from the inside out, getting that personality part first, the other thing that happens is when you create a sense of belonging, you're not focused out here on who else can I bring into my community. You're focused in on your community, and other people will come to you like a magnet versus you feeling like you need to be a bullhorn. So it's like just this shift in mindset overall of just owning who you are and attracting the right people to you and not worrying about the rest, like just and growing from there. It's this momentum shift versus feeling like you need to focus in on being a bullhorn and focusing on a funnel concept to grow your sales overall.
I love that. That's really powerful, Jessika. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let me ask you, Jessika, I want to build a little bit more on that too. You've worked with hundreds of companies, different types of businesses, different leaders, different entrepreneurs, different people who spend money differently, right? Mm-hmm. And when they think about relationship marketing, sometimes they say, okay, Jessika, this seems all in good, but it seems almost too abstract, too, I don't understand it. I understand maybe, selling something, making money, something tangible, but you're telling me to sell something or to produce something or to act in such a way of something I can't quantify on a balance sheet. What do you say when I'm sure you've had many conversations with entrepreneurs who feel this way, right? Because you're asking them to invest in a style and a way of business that maybe they can't directly see that correlation in the beginning, or can they?
They can. It's just not instant. And that's what they're used to, right? Is instant. Like we've all been taught about business and marketing, is that marketing is all about getting new sales. And and you're just focused in on the new, but then you're constantly like this hustle mindset of just growing the new and filling this bucket or the funnel, as we've all been taught, of dumping all this in, and you just get what drips out the bottom. And instead of focusing on keeping our core, keeping them with us, and growing in momentum, and instead of us feeling like we have to do it all, we build this community that is willing to do it with us. And it becomes less work, but it's just more time invested at the front end, right? It's like developing this relationship that's going to last the test of time. And we know when you look at the balance sheets, which I have hundreds of case studies on this already, but it's not instant. So I worked with nuclear pharmacy to, did social with NASA and, to water bottle companies and really non-sexy industries, a company that digs holes in the ground, like literally. But it works across the board, because what happens is when you build this sense of community and loyalty to you, we all know the studies that are like a customer, it costs less to keep a customer than it does to earn a new one. And customers that are with us longer are the ones that are going to spend more with us. So when we know that, and we also know that word of mouth is the best generator of business, then everything we've been told about the sales funnel is a lie and really doesn't work, but we're just focused in on that new sale instead of looking at what we have in front of us. So it is not a short-term game. It's a couple different metrics that you have to measure as an organization to see how it works, because it's not just the new sales, like I said, coming in, it's your revenue overall and your reduced churn overall. And then how much less are you spending to acquire a customer? So you have to look at different metrics and say, okay, are we maintaining our customer base? Are we reducing churn? Is our team members staying with us longer? And is it costing less for us to gain a team? Because it doesn't just impact new business. It's the whole profitability of the company, starting from team members, clients, the whole gamut, what you're spending on marketing. Because once you get it right and grow that momentum, not only are you going to grow profitability, but it's going to take 12, 18 months of doing it right, because community is not for sale. Relationships are something you can't buy. You have to earn. But you will see the growth there. I always say it's going to take a year, at least 12, 18 months if you do it right. But then it's going to keep growing. It's that investment that's going to keep paying out more than you could have ever imagined. And while it's growing in the revenue side, you're going to be decreasing in the cost that you're spending side as well, because now you have a community that's willing to advocate for you, willing to step up for you, willing to share your message out and insist that other people do business with you too, not just them sticking with you.
Interesting. It's so interesting. Such a great topic, Jessika. I mean, it's like relationship marketing is almost like that, the heart of influencer marketing, right? Because you've built that trust, you build that community. It's really great. I think we got some great comments coming in as well. I want to share. Mark Suter actually said, here's to the crazy ones. And he actually, as a high school teacher, clients are students, and building relationships with them is just as important. I couldn't agree with you more. Mark, you got to get that buy-in, that trust from your students, and then magic happens. Adrian is joining us from Facebook Live and says, words of mouth work for me as a hairstylist. Couldn't agree with you more. It's so true. It's like, word of mouth is powerful. And then you couple that with social media and like magic happens, right?
World of mouth now. Yeah.
Yeah. The world, like it's incredible. I did a project with Damon John a few years ago. And I remember this very strong. He said, Winnie, back when I was a kid, we had like 8 friends, and that was a lot of friends, and that was enough. But now like each of these 8 friends has like another 8 friends, and the 8 friends has another 100 friends, 800 friends. And all of a sudden it's just so much bigger because of social media. So it's really interesting that at the core of it, the relationship is still the same. It's just now our bullhorn is so much bigger. So Jen, let's talk about relationship marketing and how it happens. Like, how do you use relationship marketing across all your channels, right? Not just one-on-one, not just in your neighborhood, but on these different channels, these different mediums, social platforms. And how do they differ depending on where the interactions are taking place, would you say?
I love this question, because with Xstand, we do a lot of different things. We do in-person things, we do contests, we do fun stories on Instagram. We ask, like today we were asking people what's on their playlist, what gets them motivated at the beginning of of a short week after a long weekend. Are you a Spotify or are you an Amazon Music person? We're constantly engaging community in different conversations across our not only our social channels, but also when we see them in person. We just were out in Ohio at Social Media Week Lima, and Xstand came out as a sponsor for this event. And the cool thing is, so many people that are part of that community are also part of the Xstand community. And so we got to see people from all across the United States who have Xstand, who are excited about Xstand, telling us stories about Xstand, and and posting pictures with the Xstand at the conference. And so it was kind of a cool thing where we got to have real in-person conversations, because everything that we put onto our digital presence is allowing them to be a part of a conversation already, to where when they see us in person, they're just like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you about this. A funny thing that we like to do, that we were doing last year, and we kind of keep doing it, is how do you use your Xstand standing desk in a way that's not necessarily a standing desk? And so we get funny answers like, I have a coworker who uses hers as a cake stand because she bakes cakes.
Oh, how fun.
And last Christmas, we had somebody send us a photo of wrapping paper, and they were using their Xstand because it comes together as an X. And so then they had their wrapping paper kind of draped over, and they were using their Xstand as a wrapping paper dispenser. And I've had another friend say that she uses hers as not as a standing desk or a laptop stand at all. She uses it as a pot holder, like for her plants. And so it's just been kind of a fun thing where if we ask a question, they feel so comfortable with us, and they love so much being a part of our community that they're more than happy to share their opinions. They feel like we create a safe place for them. And it's just kind of a fun, silly thing to be a part of. It's work related, but it kind of brings the fun into that. And it really, the things that we have seen on the Xstand community in the last year have just been so exciting and emotional, and it's been a wonderful thing.
Well,
Experience.
Jen, congratulations on all your success. Let me ask you this. When you talk about my community and where I'm sharing us, what platform are you using for Xstand? Are you using Facebook groups? Like, where does this reside mostly?
Well, we have mostly, I think a lot of our community happens on Instagram and in Instagram stories. We do have a Facebook group, and I have it created. What I've been working on is developing an actual goal for what we're going to bring to the table for our followers and for our community. Because you don't want to just have something to have it because everyone says do this. You want to actually have a goal and a reason for them to hang out with you. And so that's kind of been the thing that we are thinking about right now is what do we want to provide? What kind of space do we want to provide with Facebook groups? So right now we're active on Facebook. We're active on Instagram stories. We're having some fun with Reels. We're testing the water on Instagram Reels and LinkedIn and Twitter. But I would say we're most active on Facebook and Instagram for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Very much so. Thank you so much, Jen, for sharing that, because I think that gives us something, an idea, right? You wouldn't think of Xstand as having that exciting of a community, especially on a platform like Instagram, but that's really cool. I mean, she's gotten so creative. And to Jessica's point earlier, which is, it doesn't matter. A lot of my companies that I work with are pretty much what you would consider boring companies, but we can create that special spark. So that's really exciting. Let me ask you this, Jess. Most people know how to build one-on-one relationships. We've been taught this since we're kids in elementary school, how to make friends on a one-on-one. But how do you do this with a larger group at once, right? I think you've been so successful in this area. I'm going to tell you, even before I got a chance to speak with you or connect with you, I actually started hearing about you early on. And the things that they were talking about was so much love towards Jessika Phillips. And especially, I got to tell you, I have heard about, first off, you got to talk about your conference, which I know is as a major player in the social media space. But not only that, I was hearing about these swag bags, Jessika. This was like, talk about love. You don't know, like, Winnie, you got to go to Jessika Phillips' conference because the stuff that she gives out, it's like next level. Let's talk about that, Jessika. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes is the problem that we face is what we think it's one to many. right? And if we take that away and just think of how we're showing up, just going to Jen's point, and I love some of the examples that she shared with Xstan. I'm a proud Xstan owner. I was like, I think her first customer. I hope I was, but buying it for the team and love it. But how she shows up is once you know who we are. So we started from the inside out, like I said, once we know who we are, then we have to know who we're showing up for. And once you know who you're showing up for, whether you're a solopreneur or a brand, you have to have an idea of here's my people, here's who I'm wanting to have this conversation with. And whether you're just sharing that on social as a conversation, right? Like social is for social media, being social, to have a conversation, asking questions, featuring others, like all those examples that Jen shared was brilliant. I like to say, when you think about posting, and I'm a huge fan of acronyms, think about how can I personalize it to my people, like imagine who I'm trying to have a conversation with, make it open-ended, have my own style, the S for style, so it feels like me, it doesn't sound like someone else. And is it timely? Is it relevant to what's going on today? So if we show up before we share something and think about that before you post, then you're imagining that you are only talking to one person. And when that person does respond or persons respond, still treat them as the individual that they are, because they are an individual, right? So like respond back to them, answer them, still, again, think of this sense of belonging. Don't just focus on buying. The buying will come. It will continue to come. But you have to treat people with respect and show up for them and listen to them and engage with them. And the more that you give out, the more you're going to get back. But to Social Media Week Lima's point, as you're bringing that up, so yes, it is the conference that happens in a small town called Lima, Ohio, population like 30,000. We're known for trains, cornfields, cows, and manufacturing. But it's an hour and a half to the closest airport. So it is really a dedication. I've been blown away and amazed and honored and thankful and grateful for all the people, powerhouse people that are willing to come in and not only speak at this event, so fly in, then take an Uber or our pickup car to get into this event to speak and show up and offer some value to the attendees, but also attendees that come in from all over to also have this experience. And the reason why they do, one is because they've been able to build a rapport with us and a relationship, and it was growing over time. But also because when they do come there, we're only trying to bring in the people that are our people, one. So it's very intentional, like our people, meaning I'm not just going to bring in a speaker that doesn't align with that same care mentality of, showing up to create the sense of belonging. I'm not going to bring somebody in that isn't practicing what they preach. But also when they do come in, I want Lima to be known for love, right? Like, and I want us to be known for showing up and showing that we care that they came. So I want things personalized to them. So like the speaker gifts are customized bobbleheads of them, instead of like an Amazon gift card or something, even though that's awesome, but something that shows that I took notice of them, that it's something that you're not going to get somewhere else, right? And the swag bags, yes, everybody gets the same thing, but it's also aligned with the theme of the event. And still, I want them to feel like it was made for them. Because once somebody realizes that you care, who said the quote? Maya Angelou. But it's not about what you say, or it's how you make people feel, right? And that's so true. You remember how people made you feel, and when you can do that, that's when people will show up for you, and they'll continue showing up for you. So that's kind of what we live by, and that's kind of ingrained in everything at Now Marketing Group and who we choose to work with us. That's why lovely Jen, is on the team, because she's amazing. And not only encourage them to show up for our community, then everybody else that they engage with when they are showing up at this event, to give in the same way, but also we want to support them in whatever they're doing. So it's been great. We've had a really good success rate of people coming back and people wanting to advocate for the event. I've never had a sales rep at Now Marketing Group. I've never had a sales rep for selling the conference. It's all been community driven and word of mouth since the beginning. So it's been great.
Well, congratulations to that. to that for sure. Community driven, that's huge. And now having a sales rep, that certainly helps with your payroll as well. Jessika Phillips, she shared a really great tweet. I thought I would read this to you on the chat. And I thought it helped a lot to kind of bring this all together. And she said, to truly build those connections, we have to show up in an unfiltered way and show that we care. And it's like just what she said, all those little details, right? How much work it takes to come up with a custom bobblehead versus quickly buying in 2 seconds an Amazon gift card. That's pretty powerful. It's about out caring and the competition. It's about out caring the competition. That's huge. Think about that. You probably didn't learn that in business school, but you got to outcare the competition, right? I remember saying that for the longest time when I was working at Smith Barney and and people would say, well, why should I do business with you? And I would say, because you're probably not going to find a person or a financial person like me who will care more about you. Mm-hmm. And when you can say it out of your heart and of your gut, and that's like, for sure no one's going to outcare you, then that's your superpower. And she said, do more than they expect from you, test new ideas, and share the exciting results with them. This is so cool. Be honest with them about things that may not be working. And this is key. I think we need to talk about this a lot of times. There's gonna be times where you're going to fall flat on your face. Maybe somebody on your team didn't respond to an email fast enough, or said something they regretted, or maybe they just just missed the email, didn't respond, or maybe the sale went through and the system didn't work well. Maybe it took long to ship, or maybe the item was received and was damaged. There's going to be processes. I mean, we're all human. Things are going to go wrong, but how we address them and how we come back from that is huge. And I think, Jen, obviously you sell product, right? Mm-hmm. We know that the Xyan is a physical item. Every company has hiccups. How do you train your team on handling these hiccups so that not only do you rise from it, but perhaps you even gain more business from it? I had a chance to, study and Tony Hsieh from Zappos, all about that relationship marketing and how you can turn a bad experience into a good experience. How do you do that with your company?
Seriously, you own it and you apologize. You own it. You say, I am so sorry. That is our bad. How can we make it better? And just make it better for them, and go one step farther and add a special treat. In all of our boxes, we send a handwritten note and a little piece of candy or something just random that, it's Etsy culture. It's part of the Etsy culture. You surprise and delight. And I love being part of a culture like that. It's so much fun. And I think that's why people really love shopping on Etsy in the first place. But if you own it and you apologize, own it and apologize. This is like how, make it a conversation. It is another human on the other side, and they trusted you, to deliver a perfect product. And if you can't deliver a perfect product, you can make it better. You send them a new product, send them one that's not scuffed up. But sometimes that happens in the mail. But really, if you just own it and apologize, you got to do that.
I love it. So it sounds so simple, but I guess it depends on every situation. But do know that everybody goes through that. All right. So I love this. It was so helpful. Thank you, the two of you, for sharing so much insight. But we want to have some fun. We want to get to know you just a little bit better. So I think it's time for our speed round. And by the way, I see Robin Stevens has shared that her playlist today is David Bowie. So thank you so much, Robin, for sharing that with us. We really appreciate it. We're going to definitely reach out and we'll definitely send you something. And Facebook and Instagram, Adrian says, is where that Adrian publishes their style on showing skills of work. And so fun. All right, CrossX Fighter, you're ready for speed round time. And so am I. We're going to give 1 minute to each of these powerhouses to answer this question. But we're going to start with Jessika first. Okay, Jessika, first question for you. And Jen, you're going to answer this right after that is, what was your first job ever? We want to know.
Oh my goodness. So this is going to take it back. And I don't even know if it was the first job that was legit, but I was a newspaper carrier in a little small town called Hume. My stepbrother actually signed up for the job and I did all the work and he gave me some pay. So pretty sure I got screwed on that deal, but it was fun.
So your stepbrother taught you very early on the power of outsourcing.
Very early. Yeah.
So you were
Other
the
than that, it was
benefactor.
Dairy Queen was my first legit under my name job.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, Jen, what about you? What did you first do?
My very first paid be on time timesheet kind of job was Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Store. So it's kind of funny that Jessica was Dairy Queen. So I got to make sundaes and I got to talk to people all day long and take their orders and make sure their orders went out right. It started with a smile on my face and a sundae in their hand. It was awesome.
So Jessica is nodding too. I'm guessing that was some good training for some of the things that you do today. I love that.
Everybody should have to work in the service industry. I swear you learn so much. Yeah.
You learn so much. You definitely learn so much. I love it. All right. Let me ask you this, Jessica, coming back to you. Now, you've been given $10,000, hypothetically, to spend on your business. Where do you start?
Ooh, we doubled our team actually in 2020, and I would love to bring everyone together again, not just for a conference, but I would love to bring everybody again together to do a retreat and for us to kind of spend some quality time together and get to know each other even more and work on the business and each other, like getting to know one another.
I love it. Well, Adrian's saying Adrian would love advertising. So for sure. But yeah, getting together, let's just hope this COVID thing goes away and we can do more of that, getting together, because I would love to see the two of you in person. All right, Jen, same question for you. $10,000, hypothetically, you were given to spend on your business. Where are you going to start?
I think we're going to start with hiring a business manager. I think that Well, because I have a full-time job. My boyfriend and business partner also has a full-time job, and sometimes we lack a little bit of direction and bookkeeping and things like that. So we need someone to keep us in line. I think that would be what we would want to do with that.
I love it. All right, let me just jump in there as your financial friend here. Let me tell you, Jen, one of my best my best contacts, I should say. People always say, like, who are your business mentors and whatnot. I've had the same business accountant since I was like in my early 20s when I first started, when I didn't have that much business. And he's been consistently growing he's seen me grow this entire time, and probably one of the best people that I have in my business lineup. So if you can't hire a business manager, I suggest you look for a really good business accountant, because the right accountant will change your life. And so that would be mine. And if you don't have one, I'm happy to introduce mine to you for sure. But thank you so much, my friends. Incredible. I will tell you selfishly, I wish we could spend all day together, because there's so much that the two of you are doing and learning and testing out and growing and seeing that I think many businesses could benefit from. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and being generous with us today. Let me ask you this, Jessica, where should people go to learn more about you? And second question to this would be, can you tell us about your ideal client?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So to learn about me specifically, you can go to jessikaphillips.com, and my name is spelled a little bit differently, Jessica with a K, like below, and it has all the socials there. My ideal client is one that gets it, if you will, that realizes that they have a passion about what they're doing. No matter if it's digging holes in the ground, nuclear pharmacy, or water bottle, whatever, but they're passionate about what they do. And it's not about what they do, it's about how they do it. And that's a bigger vision. So somebody that's very passionate about what they do and driven and just not a nice person. No rude clients, please. Yeah.
I love that. That's my big rule too. I only like nice humans, Jessica. That's probably why we get along so great. All right, Jen, same question for you. Where do we learn more about you? Of course, where are we going to go for this X stand? And, and tell us, and maybe you could tell us about your dream client too. Why not? Let's go for it.
Okay, sure. If you want to find me, I am Jen Cole, ICT, on both Instagram and Twitter. And Xstand, you can find Xstand at getxstand.com, and you can also find them on social at GetXStand on Instagram and Twitter. And I think our ideal customer is somebody who loves their job so much that they like to post about it, create content about their job, maybe even using their X-stand while they do that. They enjoy standing up and being active and just really love what they do and embrace the idea of working from everywhere.
I love it. We like to work from everywhere. We need more of that, right? Especially we need more 4-day weeks too. Let's just say a big hello to that too. Huge thank you to Adrian and CrossX Spider and Robin and the multiple Marks and multiple Chris's and everybody else that joined us today. What a treat to spend this time with all of you. Thank you so much to Jen and Jessica, and thank you so much for watching, supporting our program. Please take a moment to share the show with everyone that you care about. As a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Be well, and I can't wait to see you again later this week. Take care now.
Thanks, Winnie.